our tenants reach out to us with concerns and questioning how we're going to handle and respond to the situation currently at hand in our listings, and then through social media to really redirect people to a virtual showing. We've converted our security deposit refund to zero refund policy. Typically, we do a 72-hour refund policy. At this time, we're doing a zero. It's no refunds.
Welcome back to I Buy Real Estate, your free step-by-step guide so you can buy real estate. Today we got a special guest in the building, my property manager, Jeremy Ballsmith, the owner of Town Housing Real Estate. Jeremy currently manages over 1,000 units. 30 of those are mine. Welcome, Jeremy.
Hey, Wei, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
Good, holding up, trying to not go too stir crazy in the house here. Obviously, it's a big shift in how we do our day-to-day business and live our lives. So it's been interesting, but so far so good.
Right, it's definitely a change, and we just gotta adapt to it. So let's get to it. So I gotta ask you this question. One of my mentors, Cody Sperber, told me one of his friends, who's also a property manager that manages over 6,000 units. And the property manager said 50% of the current tenants called and told the property manager that they're not paying rent. And we haven't even hit April yet. Have you gotten these calls? And what do you even tell the tenants?
We have. I think in our portfolio, it's not as much as 50%. I think we've probably seen 15 to 20% of our tenants reach out to us with concerns and questioning how we're going to handle and respond to the situation currently at hand. A lot of what we've gotten are people who are going to do and make best efforts to make payments, whether they be full payments, partial payments. They've really been really great about giving us an update as to what their intentions are. I will say that in the last few days here, we made an office stop yesterday and today, and we've collected almost 40 to 50 rents, and we're leading the week up to the 1st. So I don't think we're going to have a full grasp as to how big the problem will be, or if there'll even be a problem, until the 5th of April. However, I do also feel that April's 1 month down. So as we progress through the 60 and 90th days, obviously some of these issues for these tenants and their finances will become a little more magnified. Obviously, there's rumors behind the stimulus check and how that may affect people and how they approach the topic. But we are communicating with tenants and telling them that this is a deferment. This is a moratorium on evictions. This is no waiver, not a waiver of rent in any way. We've made it clear that upon that 90-day period, should the bans on eviction be lifted, unfortunately, we may be in a position where they need to be held accountable for a full 90 days. So we're telling them to make best efforts and do what they can to make payments. Going to be pushing out shortly a incentive program for our tenants here at Town Housing Real Estate, and that's approved by each owner individually. However, that incentive program will not go out or take effect until the 5th of the month, after we've seen exactly who is going to make rent payments and who's going to have issues. From there, each tenant's going to be contacted individually, and we're going to have a better understanding case by case as to who's having an issue and why they can or cannot pay. But we're going to hold off until after the 5th. We don't want to cut any of our owners off at the knees and offer unnecessary discounts to people who may fully intend to pay full month's rent.
Got it. Now, with the new incentive plan that you talked about, could you elaborate more on this and, tell me behind the thoughts of how you even came up with this?
The incentive program is a tiered structure, and it's 3 different groups of individuals, anyone paying $600 a month or less, anyone paying between $600 and $900 and $900 and over. And the way we tiered it is that they will get a per month discount against their rent as they pay rent. So over the course of 3 months, it works out to be about 50% of a single month's rental rate. So if a single unit is $900 a month, over these 3 months, they're going to get a $450 incentive and rent waiver at $150 per month for paying the rent, the remainder of their rent each month on time. So it's going to be a month-to-month basis for that incentive program. It's going to really keep them on the hook to continue making those payments.
Got it. And what about maintenance? Maintenance still going out there and fixing issues?
Yes.
Talk about that.
Our maintenance team, they're fully operational. What they're doing is they are going out, answering calls, and they're also making sure that tenants' problems are being resolved. After the 5th of the month, we're making sure that anyone who's not paid rent, those priorities are set kind of on the back burner. Outside of health and wellness, human life safety, and then anything related to the physical structure of the property, that'll get put on the back burner until we start to see our portfolios and clients' cash flow strong again. We're not looking to do cosmetic repairs or any kind of unnecessary work to a tenant's unit if they have right out of the gate gotten behind in rent. We want to make sure that we're matching up income with expenses as best we can. However, that said, we're not going to put anyone's life in danger. We obviously need to maintain the properties for our clients and maintain safety for our tenants.
So as a client myself, I can say that this incentive plan is wonderful. I think you're being very proactive about this, and which you gotta be, and this is why you manage 1,000 units. This is beautiful, great.
Yeah, it's something, it's no solution fits all. And we certainly identify that here at Town Housing, but we're trying to come up with something that really, shows the humane side to our business. I think now's a more important time to, put that best foot forward. And it's a big ask from me to our clients to consider this type of discount and waiver. It's not a small number, and I certainly do appreciate our clients, cooperation with it. I think for the most part, all understand, why we're suggesting this. And I think once we roll it out to the tenants, we're going to really be able to build positive relationships with each tenant and make sure that we are capturing as much rental income as possible.
Got it. Okay. So with everything that's going on right now and knowing that property management is not essential, what are you telling your employees to work from home? Like, what tasks are you giving them?
It's two sides to the coin. So property management technically is not an essential service. Obviously, New York State Association of Realtors have really curbed a lot of licensee activity until further notice. But the maintenance component is. Building maintenance is deemed an essential service, and so are the coordinators that help the logistics behind our maintenance technicians. We have about 15 in the field, full-time working daily to make sure tenants and properties are taken care of. That coordinating team handles that day-to-day logistics, and they're also deemed essential, as a result. We kind of saw this issue becoming a larger problem sooner than later. So we responded pretty quickly with, added technology for our employees. Many received new company paid cell phones and company laptops. Everyone is completely wireless, completely remote. By Wednesday of last week, 100% of our business was in the home, and all our employees in our office are still currently working from home. Our leasing agents are all still working from home. And then obviously our maintenance technicians are out in the field doing the best they can to keep up and keep ahead of the curve. So we've always prided ourselves here at Town on being a paperless, clutter-free office, and that kind of has its perks. We've always taken advantage of really good technology, really good programs. I think we have 4 or 5 different programs that we use, from property management to finance management, time management, task management. So we've got everything up and running. Everyone's remote, and we've been working with our IT guy to make sure our server is streamlined so people can access information as they need it. We're able to update Buildium. So for our clients who are accessing their portals, please give a little delay time in that. However, those informations are being populated daily. So we're business as usual. We've actually brought on 3 new employees since the beginning of last week because of just the volume. We're busier now than ever, which is unexpected, but certainly welcomed.
Wow. Awesome. So to follow up on that, now that New York has restricted showings, how are your leasing agents showing vacancies? I myself, as a client, I have, I think, 6 vacancies. So I'm wondering about this as well.
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's been a challenge because with the restrictions for people being out of home working as a licensed person, and as we all know, our leasing agents are all licensed as New York State salespersons, they're really limited. So end of last week, we kind of did a quick mad dash for the door, and we went out and videoed all our vacant units. So in addition to all of our online marketing, our website, Zillow, Trulia, HotPads, Craigslist, obviously we have that content there. We have pictures available, but we are launching a YouTube channel for Town Housing Real Estate. I think actually the first few videos are up. It's taking quite a while to load. So over this next week here, you'll start to see vacant units that we've gone out and videoed. you'll start to see those populate on that YouTube channel. Those links will be used both in our listings and then through social media to really redirect people to a virtual showing. We've actually rented 2 units through a virtual showing. We have put some extra documentation in place, at the direction of our attorney to hold people accountable that if they see a unit virtually and they sign on it and they take it and commit to it, that they understand the unit is then being taken as is. Obviously, it's a twist to what we do and how we do our day-to-day leasing, but we're making adjustments to make sure that part of our company does not slow down. See, if anything, it's going to streamline us even further and perhaps even show town housing a new way to do business moving forward into the future.
Wonderful news. I love how you're able to adapt to that. So these vacancies, these virtual showings, they're currently live on your YouTube channel right now?
There's a few, yeah. And I don't know the specific link to get to our YouTube channel. I'm still going through that. What I could do is share with you a link at the end of this and add that into the video. You certainly can. And then what we can do is, as you start to see this content populate, this is really how we're going to approach, getting people in the door without actually physically getting them in the door. So you will start to see this take effect, and you'll start to see me promote this through social media, both on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. So yeah, once it's done, I'll post the virtual tours below so you guys can check it out, what it looks like. Quick thought about that. So when tenants say they love it, they're committed, on the day, do you guys give keys and then they give the check and they just locked in, they can't back out? Like, tell me about the thoughts on that.
We've converted our security deposit refund to 0 refund policy. Typically, we do a 72-hour refund policy. At this time, we're doing a 0. It's no refunds. This is simply to protect clients who are looking to rent units and people who say they want it. Obviously, everyone has to make a certain level of sacrifice at a time like this. But we do believe our new structure to be pretty fair and reasonable. What we're allowing is after the showing and the full approval process, individuals can certainly, by all means, go to the property, look at the yard, look at the building, the parking situation, but they will not be met with an individual from our team to see the unit. If they're approved and if they make payments at our office through our Dropbox, once our office confirms payment's been received for deposit, we'll virtually and electronically send out leasing paperwork and get that lease signed up, get attachments, disclosures as legally required signed, and then we'll set a move-in date. That move-in date will allow the person to show up to the property, and much like a Airbnb, they're going to show up, lockbox on site, their set of keys in that lockbox within a unique code, and that unique code will be able to get them into their new home. But that code won't be given to them until we are confirmed that we have full deposit on account, we have prorated month's rent and any associated fees, in addition to a fully signed lease. Once we have all that in place, then they'll get that unique code, and that'll get them in the door.
That's a beautiful process and system you got in place there. So kudos to you, man.
It's coming together one day at a time. We're certainly working to fine tune it as we go. Obviously, this is no foolproof system, but with the changes we've had to make, this is where we've gotten so far. I have another conference call today with our leasing team at 3:00 so that we can kind of get on the same page, make sure we're on the same page, answer questions of, any of the key people currently working through this process, because they all are. I know our phones have been off the hook. Everything's been redirected out of our office to various individuals, and leasing's been busy. People are looking to rent, which is good to hear, good to see. Now we just need to make sure that that interest is matched with the process that actually gets them in the door and secures the unit.
And for those clients out there that are panicking, worrying about what's going to happen if the tenants don't pay rent, or what's this going to happen, what's that going to happen, what do you tell the clients right now?
Right now, I'm telling everyone to kind of just take a moment to deep breathing. So at this point, we don't know to what extent this issue is going to, really even be an issue. They could fully well continue to make best efforts to pay rent. I really don't have a real answer for you on that until around the 4th, 5th of the month. Monday the 6th, I'll be making another statement out to my personal clients, outlining, what kind of retention and rent collection we've had, what issues we're having, and any communications our team has had with those people. I would say by the 6th, I think that's the Monday, I'll have a much better answer for what kind of fallout will there be this month, and then what to expect in the months moving forward. So obviously it's a day by day. Unfortunately, in our industry, when it comes to our revenue, it's a month by month. So we still have a couple more days before we know.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So talk to me about your business today, offensively and defensively.
Offensively, we've been pretty aggressive with just continuing to provide good service. We are continuing to promote our services and market them, and we've taken on several new clients in these past 2 weeks here who are looking for someone who's going to step up to the plate. This has kind of been a great opportunity for myself and my team to demonstrate how we operate, and how we take things seriously when we sign on to be responsible for a client's property. I think offensively, we're working full steam ahead and things are good. In the perspective of defensively, obviously my grip has tightened on our operations, on making sure that we are not bleeding any part of our operation dry, overworking anybody, making sure we have the right technology, making sure we have proper capital reserves in place to float and front, payroll if we need to. And, I have zero intention to take on any kind of, personal or business debt through this. We're a well-built company. I like to think we're well run. Obviously, I have a great team who shows up every day, works very hard. So I definitely do not feel the stress of any of my team losing any kind of employment at this time. However, our hiring has really been pretty curbed. We've slowed down our hiring, and we've just slowed down our spending when it comes to unnecessary things such as marketing. Town Housing has its own rental portfolio, so obviously we've communicated with the banks what our our mortgage obligations are. We've negotiated a deal with our mortgage company, M&T Bank, so we've got a 90-day plan there. But yeah, it really still is business as usual. That tune may change on the 6th of April, but as of right now, we're going to still continue to move forward. And there's always opportunity in situations like this, whether it be to purchase a property. As a service business, for us to grow, we certainly welcome new clients and look forward to that challenge. But in times like this, it is a good period of time to throttle back, get reorganized, address any issues as a company that we may be dealing with currently. And there's always something in the closet that needs to be cleaned up. But yeah, we're still looking towards the future to grow and to build the team and move forward.
That's great leadership, Jeremy. Keep sailing that ship.
Thanks, Wei.
I know you talked about you looking to screen share maybe like an article here or there regarding what New York is going through. Do you have something related to that you want to share right now?
Yeah, I do. I have something that I think I can share. One of it's from our website. So let me make sure I get this set up properly, okay? Let me see here. All right, so this is our homepage of our website. This here is where we created a tab for COVID-19 advisory, we'd like to call it, and it's our commitment to our clients, employees, and residents' safety and well-being. You see the little red bar up at the top. If you were to click on that, this kind of expands for you a platform that we're creating and constantly updating here. It just outlines some of the steps we've taken, some information for different various groups. So as you can see, we have clients, we have residents, and then we have a vendors tab. Clients, residents, and vendors can certainly access this information. They can go here anytime. We've been on a 2 to 4 day cycle for updates. We have yet to get a vendor update out, but we're working on that now as we assess funds on account and payments made or should be made to vendors. So we're working across the board to provide up-to-date information on what we see and how it's impacting us as a business, how it's impacting our clients, and how it's ultimately going to impact the residents. But this is a great spot. So if anyone's looking for more information specifically on what Town Housing may know, what Town Housing may be doing, or if you're a customer, client, tenant, vendor, this is a great location to go check that out. Very easy, townhousing.com. Up at the top, click on the little advisory board, and you'll be right here. So this is one source of information. This is something that myself and my director of operations, Elizabeth Huntington, have been creating. We've been dealing with banks. We've been dealing with the city, talking with assistance agencies. Libby's really, headed the front on that. And what we're doing is we're working to get information into a single local spot so everyone can reference that and better understand what what's going on.
Beautiful,
That's
beautiful.
one. The other is an article that I was given by one of my clients, and I thought it was a good article. The link I can get to you, Wei, so you can share that further. However, some important updates with the city of Buffalo. It outlines in the first few some of the closures and expectations on limiting gatherings. The remainder is really about Buffalo Water, for example, has halted all disconnection of water service for their customers and is suspending late fees and water and sewer billings. City of Buffalo suspended late fees or interest on accounts, including tax, sewer, water user fees, parking, traffic, and other. And then it just outlines a couple of the things that have changed that do affect owners. How do I pay my taxes, water bills, things like that. So, with the city shutdown, obviously that has kind of put everything at a halt, but it's important to be able to access this information. So this is another one. That's pretty much about it. Outside of the various, news medias and social media that, everyone has access to. Those are the two things that I think stand most out to me. And then obviously our website, we're going to remain, available for all, and then keep that updated as best we can.
Wow. Way to be proactive and way to keep updating information as we go. So love it, love it. I got to ask you, Jeremy, being a property manager and managing over 1,000 units, give me one story that comes to mind, whether that's positive, negative, some crazy tenant. What comes to mind?
Oh, man. Libby would be better at this than I am. I hate to admit she really has got the grip on the day-to-day operations. I've got some crazy stories, though. Obviously, we've had various incidents with tenants and disputes. And, one that comes to mind specifically there was a tenant who was living in the downstairs unit with two very young kids. I think they were 16, 15. And one night, the two of them went upstairs to the upper unit where two, middle-aged ladies lived. And they actually held these ladies at gunpoint and stole their money and maced them and then ran off. Now, no one really knew who these kids were. So, of course, the ladies upstairs run to the downstairs unit and says they were attacked. Turns out grandma did not realize this is what the grandkids were doing. Eventually they were caught up to, and unfortunately we had evicted the lower and we lost the upper tenants. But yeah, these 13 and 15-year-old kids held these two girls at gunpoint and maced them and stole their money, and they're not free. They're not out and about right now. I think they're still doing a little bit of time, but that's probably the craziest story. And
Wow.
then, yeah. That was an interesting one. And then she sued us to get her security deposit back in the lower unit. So she wanted her security deposit back, and she sued us for it, and we had to pay half of it, which was disappointing. But
what? Wait, so at court, when she was suing you, the judge rewarded her with half?
Yeah.
What kind of insanity? What?
Yeah, he said this is the wrong court to talk about that. This is something different, and he gave her half back. So, our hands were tied at that point. But that was a crazy one. That was a 3-week long process there.
You talking about Patrick Carney, the judge, or a different judge?
I don't know. I didn't go to court for that.
Okay.
Libby actually went to court for that one, so I don't know exactly who made that call, but could have been. He's a housing judge, so I wasn't interested in getting into that one. He's
He's like, I don't get shot. Here's just take half, just.
Exactly.
So thank you, Jeremy. Before we end it, Jeremy, do you got any advice or any words of encouragement for uncertain times for all the viewers out there?
I think it's important to know that every single person is dealing with this situation. I approach it with the concept of everyone's dealing with it, same problems, different number of zeros after the number. So whether you have 2 units, 200 units, same exact issues, irregardless of what people say to me, I do believe that. I do think that people need to keep cash. I don't think now's the time to be going crazy at the bank or trying to go and overextend yourself in any kind of crazy acquisition unless you know and you've ran the numbers and know you can. I think being a little bit of conservative right now is a good way to be, but also know that there's no other option but out. There's no other option but to move forward and get out of this. It's going to take some time, but again, it's a movement now more than ever globally that everyone's dealing with this. Major adjustments in every industry have been made to account for this struggle and this hardship, and not to freak out. I've seen things in portfolios, taxes, insurance, mortgages go months and months and months without payment and with little effect on a personal owner without this issue. So the fact that this issue is currently going on, there's so much leniency being put out there that people need to realize slow and steady wins the race. and just, deep breathing until we all can learn together what exactly is going on.
Perfect. So if you want to be a client of Germany's property manager, I'm going to post the links below. Also, I'm going to post the links of all the articles below. Jeremy, thank you for your time. If you, the viewer, were entertained or got value, click the like button and subscribe for more content. If you got any questions to ask Jeremy, make sure to comment below and share to help others just like yourself. Thank you, Jeremy. I'll see you on the next.
Thank you, Wei. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.